Life goes by so fast that we tend to forget the things we've been through that got us through. Oddly, I barely remember my childhood. I can recall bits and pieces, like being in Miami, Florida, playing with my Power Ranger action figures in the front yard. I can't remember certain people or even being told that I was loved. But one thing I will always remember is that at the age of 5, my mom placed me in a car and drove me almost endlessly down a long road. Turns out we were leaving Miami and headed into a new life that I was not prepared for. But let's rewind. Let's go back 5 years to December 17th, 1993 at 2:30 p.m. My mom went into labor. At 4 p.m., I finally decided to come out and face the world after 9 months of being shielded from it. I came out a beautiful, healthy baby at 7 pounds 8 ounces into the hands of a loving, caring parent born into a room filled with nurses and doctors. No family or friends in sight. Among the strangers in the room, none of them looked to be my father. That was it. You weren't there. You forgot to be there. Forget everything else. You forgot to be there. Forget the bad day you had at work that stressed you out and made you forget to be there. Forget the argument that you and mom had a week earlier that you're still holding a grudge for, that made you forget to be there. Forget all the people who cut you off on the road that day and did you wrong that made you forget to be there. I did nothing to you. How could you not be in the hospital room to see the child you made come into the world? I can imagine those being the thoughts racing through my mom's head. Once I was pushed out, my mom grabbed me and held me close. She looked into my eyes and I looked into hers. Right then, I knew this would be all I had to depend on. Ironically, our leaving had nothing to do with you not being there from the start or the lies and cheating because Mama still gave you a chance to be in my life. But we'll come back to that in a minute. To make the beginning of my life even more interesting, I was born with a deformity called talipes equinovarius, commonly referred to as clubfoot. This wasn't something I was genetically passed down or anything. I just happened to be in the rare percentage of babies to be diagnosed with this deformity. Unfortunately, I was bilateral, meaning I had a clubfoot in both of my feet. So both of my legs were cocked like two loaded pistols, curving inward versus being naturally straight out. I guess my feet were so bad that I needed the help of surgery to assist in repairing their structure. I don't remember much from that time, but having to have surgery as a baby is pretty alarming and nerve-wracking. To have to watch your young child on a surgery table have procedures performed that don't have a 100% success rate? I could only imagine it from that side. My mom watched my life change forever on that table. After the surgery, for most of my toddler years, I wore orthopedic shoes to help my feet straighten out. You know, I really don't remember much of this time because I was so young, but even 25 years later, I still see the effects from it. I still feel the effects. It's funny how some things from the past carry on to our present. Some things you just never forget, never let go of, never move on from, never heal from. And those things stay with you every day. There were a lot of things I thought I would never get the chance to do because of this deformity. If I hadn't healed properly, or even if my mom had decided not to do anything about my clubfoot, I probably would have been permanently crippled, not able to play with other kids, run around in circles for no reason or play basketball. Or even simpler, I wouldn't be able to walk on my own will. But even this early in life, I couldn't be stopped from what I was destined to do, who I was destined to become. I did not realize it at the moment, but my mom would be the same lady I would one day make proud. One thing about life, the time continues to tick forward. Subconsciously, I was leaving the old me in Miami and starting a new journey that God had handcrafted for me. It wasn't always champagne and good times for this single mom and her 5-year-old child. She was born and raised in Nassau, Bahamas, and left her family to try something out of the island norm, to pursue the American dream and flourish in the opportunities the United States offered people trying to better themselves. Imagine a foreigner coming into a new country, not knowing a soul, barely speaking the main language, with only a high school diploma and a child to take care of, trying to find a way. I recall a few pieces of my childhood. While driving on that long road, I remember us pulling over into empty lots at night. I can remember my mom putting a blanket over my body so I wouldn't be cold. I thought we were making pit stops because Mommy was tired from driving until a few days passed and we kept coming back to the same parking lot at night.